Hey folks, just thought my buddy come over here. His Steve. He just bought a BMW i3. I'll show you some video on the outside. We're just gonna take a little drive around because it's a nice fall day compared to yesterday, and gives everybody a chance to check out the i3. I know that the looks are polarizing for some people, but I don't care, and you don't care.
Nope.
Because this is an awesome car. All right, let's give her a go here. Start, stop. Ooh. So this is the new 2017, and it has a slightly bigger battery pack on it,
Yep.
right? Is that the deal?
33 kilowatt hours.
We cannot have any music on here, otherwise we get clobbered on the YouTube thing.
Yep, for sure.
Which is no good. Put her in reverse. I like the lights.
Yeah.
So you had her tinted?
Yep.
Got a little bit of tint here happening. Yep. Sun strip and stuff. Okay. Yeah, regen. I can feel it. Yeah. This car, you really got to coax it.
Yeah, it takes a couple days. You get really used to it.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, she just sits there. There's no creep on this thing. You just got to give her. Oh, that's a beautiful day. I love driving this car. It feels like a BMW. Nice and tight, solid.
First BMW I've ever driven.
Really?
Yep. Really?
I've owned 3 of them over the years.
Really?
Yeah, I used to have a 318 back in '96, a little hatchback. That one didn't last too long because then the Z3 or the Z3 came out, which was the 2-seat little roadster, and I immediately fell in love with that car. So I sold the 318, then I bought the Z3, and man, I love that car. Not practical, but it was a great car. I had that one. I leased that one for, I think it was 3 years, and then I returned the lease, and then I bought a 99 or a 2000 328i. Single pedal driving. I didn't time that quite right.
Yeah, if it would have been an Eco Pro, we'll leave it in comfort because it gives
you
that's okay. Gives you the full horsepower.
Anyhow, so I really like that BMW. You know, when I had 0 problems with those cars. Yeah. They were excellent, solid cars. And then, you know, fast forward many other cars many years later, then I ended up with a Mercedes. And I forget the model and stuff, but man, that thing was a nightmare. I had nothing but problems with that car. So I kind of swore off of Mercedes and stuff, but I've always liked the BMWs. They always make a good car. And this one here I really like because you've got a lot of tech in this car. Yeah. It's just chock full of stuff. Yeah. I'm going to wait for this guy to go by.
It's not over the top, though.
Well, I understand the looks are polarizing, you know, you get it. A lot of people complain about the looks and stuff, but if you can just get past the exterior looks of the car, it's a brilliant vehicle.
Yeah, I've always liked the looks of it. I drove a Honda Element at one time, so.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're no stranger to weird then, I guess.
No.
But yeah, the tech in this car is really slick. I mean, you know, the carbon reinforced plastic body on an aluminum frame, the battery down low, skateboard type idea, just like a Tesla is. Yeah. It's really well engineered.
Makes the floor a little high. That's one thing. I like driving with my feet. Like when I'm in cruise, I always have my feet.
I'm the same way. Yeah, you're like me. I put it in cruise and I cross my legs. Don't tell anybody that.
Yeah, it's a little high.
Oh yeah, look at that. Yeehaw! See ya.
Yeah, it's got no.
They're peppy.
Yeah. I was surprised. I knew it was gonna be pep, but I was surprised.
Yeah. No, she's a good little car.
It's no Tesla, but
well, you know, compared to a gas car, well, that's the thing. You know, there's a lot of cars that can do 0 to 60 in 5-6 seconds or whatever. The difference, of course, is you know that you get all that torque anytime you need it. Boop, there you go.
Yeah, and you can even be doing. I was doing 110 on the highway last night, and I wanted to get around a guy, and no problem.
Yeah, you just give it. So you bought winter tires for this, I saw?
Yeah, they're hanging on the wall, ready to go.
Little weird skinny tires.
That's one reason I didn't get the model in the showroom. I had the 20s. I don't like doing the whole different wheels and everything. I like putting the nice wheels on. Yeah. So the 20 you can't get snow tires for, period. Yeah. So this one has the 19s, and there's only 2 choices.
Yeah, there's not a lot of choice for those wheels, for those tires, right? Very specialized. Yeah. Is that the deal?
Blizzak and then the Hakkapelitas or whatever.
Yeah, they're supposed to be pretty good, I hear.
Those are the only 2. The Blizzaks are the only ones I can find around here. So.
Do you want a coffee or something?
No, we can do it after.
Okay, cool. So you liking your new place in Barrie? I see you moved there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you liking that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in phase 1. It's pretty much done now. They're working on phase 2. So.
That's the problem is if you go in too early, depending on when they build it, it's a dust bowl for 2 years. That's no fun. I've done that. That's not fun.
Yep, we're getting our final pavement in a couple weeks.
Oh, good.
And we're done.
Any movement on your Audi you're trying to sell?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Your camper didn't take long to sell.
No, that was pretty.
That was awesome. Cool.
Yeah, once the Audi goes, that'll go into the bank, and then I get the rebate for this one, and I'll be halfway to a Model 3 again.
Still holding on to your reservation?
Yeah. Not sure what I'm going to do. It'll be kind of a game time decision. I didn't reserve till last October, so
so you're a little late to the game.
Yeah, I mean, I have the same late 2018 that everybody else has, but...
Well, it's a universal thing. I checked with everybody. It's all the same.
Yeah.
They're focusing on the U.S. deliveries because I think the federal tax credit for the U.S. thing is really weighing heavy on them. They want to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So that, that makes sense that they would do that, so...
My heart's still with Tesla, but I've wanted an electric car for years, and...
Well, now you have some product. The only problem, of course, and I mentioned this before, is I have friends of ours who had an accident in their car, and now they want to buy an EV, and they've got their heart set on a Chevy Bolt with the B, and can't find one anywhere.
But yet you hear all these stories that there's inventory, there's lots.
Well, in California, because they're sending them all down there because that's where they get all the EV rebates from the manufacturers. Up here we get good rebates for, the buyer,
right?
But there's none to be had. My wife's the same way. She wants an e-Golf. Can't find one. So what do you do?
Yeah, when I heard the story that there was inventory levels growing, I thought, I didn't really want one, but just for, leaping giggles, I contacted a Barrie GM dealership. And I'm like, hey, I'm interested in a Bolt, and I hear inventory, you must have a ton of them sitting on the lot. Say, well, let me get back to you, and I never heard a thing.
Yeah, they really want to sell them, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad. But yet, you can get these.
Honestly, though, I was just telling Wilf that when I went into the BMW dealer, they were like, are you sure you want this? Are you sure? Why don't you...
They're anti-selling their own product.
Yeah.
How silly is that?
I don't know if they're not making as much commission on these or what the deal is, but he's like, are you really sure? I mean, I got this stuff over here I can show you, and no, I know what I want. Okay. Yeah. So, kind of strange.
I like this car. I would have, if it wasn't for the range. Here's my situation. If I'm spending a good amount of money on an EV, I want it to be my primary vehicle. Meaning I got to be able to do everything with it, right? Long distance and so on and so forth. That was the only thing that was really holding me back on considering an i3 was really the distance situation. Now I know in general life it's not that big of a deal because you're just going to the corner store, or you're just going over to the next town or something like that. It's generally not a big deal.
Yeah.
But I have family on the East Coast, and we go to Montreal. I really need something that can charge fast, and I can get easily access to most of the fast charging and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and of course then the Model 3 was being dropped, of course, in the sense that Tesla started talking about it more and more right around 2013. So I figured, you know what, I'll just wait. But if this thing had 300 kilometer range, I would have jumped on this a lot sooner.
You do have with the range extender, but that's a little bit of
yeah, well, the thing is, I'm a purist, and I really didn't want to have...
I didn't either, but I wanted the insurance policy. Like, I had to use it last
then that's
night.
fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it came on. I had the music and stuff on last night on the 400 going home in the middle of the night, and I didn't even hear the range extender come on. I'm like, why isn't it turning on? It's past the area where it's supposed to come on, and I didn't hear it until I got to the stoplight on the exit in Barrie.
I see.
And then it sounded like I had a Honda generator strapped to the
Well, yeah, that's what I've heard about the generator, is that when you're driving, you don't normally hear it because you've got wind noise, you've got tire noise, competing.
Totally drowns it out. Yeah.
But when you come to a stop and you hear that little putt-putt going.
Yeah, it's I'm like, oh, this is gonna be embarrassing if somebody pulls up beside me. Be like, what the heck is this thing? It gets some looks though, I can tell you that. I don't know, not just because it's an EV. I think just because of its looks.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a different looking vehicle for sure.
Like, what the heck is that thing?
Yeah. I like the fact that you just sit here and not have your foot on the brake. She just doesn't move.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a well-built car. I mean, it's that's one thing about BMWs is that they do make a solid vehicle.
Yeah, I haven't noticed any
squeaks or rattles or anything.
Issues,
no. I never had any issues with mine. Like I said, I was, every car has problems.
Yep.
Every car has teething issues. The i3 I've heard had some early teething issues.
Yeah, the 2014.
Exactly. So they sorted out a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing that drives me crazy is a rattle or a squeak. And brand new, but you know, they can show up later.
Well, the worst part is, like, where the hell is it coming from?
Yeah. Unless you have somebody else in the car.
Exactly.
It sounds like it's coming from here, but actually it's coming from there.
Yeah,
it drives me nuts.
Well, I know. I mean, I took a chance and decided to buy a Ford/Lincoln back in 2015, and I mean, man, I had a lot of problems with that car. It went back. Yeah, I ended up getting a new transmission out of it. I had that car back to the dealer 15 times for various little issues and stuff. And I know even Teslas, for example, are not exactly perfect, but 15 times. Like, come on. Yeah. And the last time they put a new transmission in. Now, knock on wood, eucalyptus. We haven't had any more issues since then, so she's settled down and stuff. But look, I only have 6 months left on the lease, so she's going back.
Yeah.
But that was just a stopgap until the Model 3 came.
Yeah, if you would have purchased that and didn't do the lease, you would be just screaming by now.
Yeah, well, the main thing is you know, my last lease that I had was my BMW 328i, and I went over the mileage because I had changed jobs at the time, and I wasn't counting on that, and it really screwed me over. I had to pay a lot of money to get out of the lease, so I swore off leasing for a long time. So I figured, you know, if I'm going to lease another car again, which is what I did with the Lincoln, I had to cover my mileage, because normally, you know, it's 20,000, 25,000.
Yeah.
I said, look, I do 30. So they said, well, you know, you can get the lease and pay for the overage at a lower amount than what you would if you returned it in after the fact, and whatever you don't use, we'll just refund you. So I said, oh, well, that's all.
That's nice to do that.
Yeah. So they took care of that, so that's good. But the next car is going to be a long-term vehicle for me, so I'm definitely not leasing on the Tesla. I'm definitely going to buy it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, that's something with polarizing looks.
Okay, so for those of you who can't see here, there's a Nissan Cube beside us, so that would explain the comment that Steve made. So.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not a nice car at all.
No.
So those of you complaining about the i3, save it, okay? I don't want any comments down on the YouTube video because there's a lot uglier cars out there, let me say.
Believe it or not, this
good visibility too. I mean, yeah, the A-pillars are a little thick, but at least you've got the little triangle windows.
Yeah, with the back is you can see everything.
Yeah,
it's like driving around a greenhouse.
No, it's good. Yeah, they've done a good job of this. Good greenhouse on it, nice and tall. At least with an S or an X, of course, they got this tiny little mirror, and you can't see anything out the back. You kind of have to rely on the big screen all the time.
Yeah, the mirror's not the biggest in this one either, but
yeah.
Compared to the big old Audi, side mirrors are a little small. But.
So you got this one with the active cruise control?
Yep.
Is that what that is?
So the bottom button turns everything on.
Okay, so that's cruise control. Cruise control ready.
Yep.
And then this one is set your distance up and down?
Set first.
Oh, set first?
Yeah, it's set for the furthest distance right now. So it's not super aggressive either. At my CR-V, when you're out on the highway following somebody that was doing 110 and you were set to do 120, when you pulled out to pass them, it would take forever to like give it some gas and speed up. Where as soon as you pull out with this, it takes off.
Cool.
Now it'll.
She'll start slowing down.
It'll go to a complete stop and take off.
All right. Oh yeah, she's slowing down automatically. Look at that.
I usually have it set on the. If you use the button at the top there to set it to the shortest distance.
I see.
And it's still a safe distance by a long shot.
Oh, I see. It's little squares.
Yeah.
Okay. So she'll just sneak right up on this this dude here. That's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, I've tried autopilot in the Tesla. It's nice. But having it on the highway where you can just do the lane keeping and the automatic cruise control.
Yep.
I mean, everything else is gravy.
Yeah.
But that's the thing I look forward to the most.
That's why I was looking at a CPO 2014 Model S and stuff, but no.
But if you don't have, if you don't have autopilot, it's
no. Even if it would have had just adaptive cruise control, it probably would have been enough to tip me over.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing at all. Yeah, I got really.
Well, you can get one, but you're going to pay a lot of money for it because it's a desirable feature, right?
Yeah.
People want to.
I didn't think that was till 2015, 2016.
Late 2014.
2014.
If I remember, yeah, late 2014 is when it came about.
Yeah, just adaptive cruise. Anyway, with Autopilot 1 was like a $20,000 jump.
It is. It's surprising.
That's a lot of money.
I know we got a lot of American viewers and stuff. They got some really good deals down there. But just so you know, folks, In Canada, Tesla does not allow us to import American Model S's into the country. We have to buy a Canadian originally sold Model S. So that really pushes the prices up for us. We don't have access to really good deals.
So you can't go down there, buy it privately from somebody and bring it back?
No, you can't. No, because part of the import process is to have it safetied. And we have some requirements that says it has to have this, and I'm going to go down Henderson here. Yeah, so they have to have some changes done to it to pass regulations. And at one time, when the Model S first came out and when they had the Roadsters originally, there was a short amount of time where they would allow you to bring them in. But since then, they've stopped all that because, according to Tesla on the website, it says we don't have the resources to handle all of this stuff. So they stopped that. Now, Americans can buy a Canadian one and bring it down, but we're not allowed to do the reverse, which is quite sad because there's a lot of inventory to pick from down there.
And the dollar's starting to swing. And,
yeah. Well, 6 months ago, different story, but now with the dollar doing better, of course, yeah, it's quite enticing. I mean, I look at both sites and I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. I mean, they've had some Model S's down in the U.S. for as low as around 32,000 or less. I mean...
Yeah, I'd be all over that.
Oh, I know. But that's okay because, you know, it just puts more money in the bank the longer I wait.
Yep. Yeah, that was my problem. I had money burning a hole in my pocket.
That's the worst situation to be in.
Do I want to put gas in my Audi Q7 for another year and a half?
Oh, that thing was a pig, wasn't it?
It's about the same as what my mom's 6-cylinder Pilot gets, so it's not horrible,
really?
But it's still, yeah, it would have been $5,000-$6,000 for a year in fuel.
Oh,
so,
wow, that's a lot. I thought spending $3,000 was a lot.
Yeah.
Man, really? That's the number one thing I'm looking forward to, is not giving those oil barons any more money.
I stopped at the gas station the other day for lottery tickets and a butter tart and a coffee.
I saw that post.
And it felt great. Yeah, I was looking at everybody at the pumps and I'm like, man, that's
nice knowing you.
And even charging at home, like people think that our electricity here is so expensive, and I'm like, you should maybe move to California if you want to see expensive power.
Yeah.
But I did a full charge. I was completely empty when I got home last night, and a full charge I think was just under $3 this morning.
And you put what, 33 kilowatt in or so?
Yeah. Now that I just signed up for the 2-cent plan.
Yeah, because you're with PowerStream.
Well, Electra now.
Oh, Electra. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I saw that thing.
So yeah, through the week, 2 cents a kilowatt hour. It's going to cost me, a full charge would probably cost me under $1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking I might. Well, when the spring comes around, I might sign up for that too.
Yeah, it goes a little higher during...
I heard during the day it's a little higher.
On peak, yeah.
On peak.
But I always wait till like 7 o'clock to run my dryer and stuff anyway, so...
Well, that's the thing for us. We never do... I mean, the only thing that runs, we run the dishwasher maybe at midnight.
Yeah. Well, yeah, well now I'm going to drop down to 2 cents at midnight. I'm setting the dishwasher for midnight. I'm going to, you know, I work afternoons, so I'll dry my clothes when I get home from work in the middle of the night. We won't tell the power company that...
There's a Mustang Shelby beside us, and he's just gurgling it away. Glug, 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 glug. Can you hear it?
You can hear the money coming out.
Here, hold on.
Listen to the money.
That's the sound of old dinosaurs, folks.
I passed a Ford F650 on the 400 coming down here, and man, that thing was just grunting like crazy.
Well, you know, there is something to be said for the older cars. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I had a Trans Am when I was 16, and I'd probably buy another one just to...
Fire chicken.
Sunday cruises.
Uh-huh.
I remember putting gas in that thing when I was 16. I couldn't even imagine having that car now. Mm-hmm. It'd be just crazy. You could literally see the gas gauge move.
Reminds me of that old commercial with Jerry Seinfeld in it. I think it was for American Express.
Yeah.
And he goes to the gas pump and he's got this muscle car or whatever, and he fills up the tank or whatever, and there's a guy beside him and stuff, and he revs the engine and you see the gas gauge go vroom vroom. I always remember that. That was fun.
I love watching his show on Crackle, comedians and cars getting
yes, there's quite a few good episodes.
I was never a fan of his show.
The one where he takes Kramer with him, Michael. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Some pretty crazy cars on that show.
Oh yeah.
Has he done any EVs yet? I'm trying to think.
No. I don't think so.
It's sponsored by Acura, which is funny. So he's had the NSX out.
Oh,
I guess it's a
the
hybrid.
new one?
Yeah. Well, he got one of the first production.
Oh, wow.
Him and Jay Leno, I think, got the first.
Yeah, those guys are made of money, dude. They can afford that stuff. Yeah, Jay's garage is kind of interesting, too. He's got some neat stuff on there. He did an early review of the Model S when it first came out. He liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
He needs to go back and look at the Model X and the other cars again, of course. Whoa, the train's coming down the track. We just beat that one.
Yeah, it's a nice little cruise around town car. Like, it's kind of like driving I had a Fit for a while, too. It reminds me of that a lot. Quick and nimble.
Look at that, no brakes. Yeah. Love it. One pedal driving.
So you're creeping a little bit now, but if we went to Eco Pro, it'll stop completely next time.
Yeah, the one pedal driving in this one is very similar to the Chevy Bolt. It's the same way. It's got quite aggressive regen on it.
Yeah, you'll notice in Eco Pro it's a lot stronger.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, like, if you touch the gas, it doesn't take a lot off that. It takes a little bit off it. I actually find in regular comfort mode that the gas is a little bit too responsive.
A little too much.
I like the Eco Pro.
Well, it remains to be seen how we set up our Tesla. Whether we leave creep on or we take it off. I don't know. I know for me, I'll probably take it off.
Yeah.
But my wife is a little bit more old school.
Yeah.
And she'll probably be like, this feels weird. I want to put it back to the old way, right? We'll see. She did like that Model X, though.
Yeah, it's a nice vehicle.
Oh, yeah. I think she's sold on
that. That's where I'd be going if I had that kind of money, but...
Well, the cost delta, I've looked at it because we've been considering a Model S, of course.
Yeah.
And, of course, with the Model X, it's always been more expensive because they've always had that fancy 6-seat interior with the fancy seats and stuff.
Yeah.
And recently now they've introduced the 5-seat model, which has a 60/40 folding bench seat. And I was like, I don't know about that. But when I actually saw it in person, I actually had a chance to play with the seats. It's actually really nice.
Yeah.
And of course now they dropped the price $3,000 US, and of course the dollar's doing better. So now it just got adjusted. So I'm looking at the cost delta between the S and the X now as about just over $5,000.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad. Plus, we get the hitch, we get the better seating position, it's higher off the ground, much more interior volume space for passengers anyways.
Yeah.
Cargo volume's about the same, especially with the 5-seat compared to the S. So, I don't know, it's under consideration, we'll see. If the Model 3 was available, I'd buy it right away.
Yeah.
But for us, not looking so good. So, spring is coming, I'll have to make a decision then. So.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change anything. I mean, I'm still going to do the Model 3 thing and the videos. I'm still really excited about the car. Not letting go of the reservation because
me neither. See what happens.
If the wife wants one, then maybe she can get that one instead because can't seem to find an e-Golf with the life dependent on us. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, maybe I can switch it to a Model Y reservation because
well, don't forget, Model Y you're not going to see for at least two years.
That's fine.
Just fine.
Yeah. I got this thing now, so it'll all depend on when my reservation comes up, what the depreciation has been on this, what I have in the bank, etc., etc. Make a decision then.
Yeah.
But I really don't want to go back to a car with a trunk, and that's been my main gripe about the Model 3 from day one. It's a nice big opening and everything, but I still can't throw my dog in the trunk.
Ah.
So.
I know for me it's because in some ways, well, here's the thing. When my wife and when we travel, we do travel quite a bit. And my wife, sorry honey, but it's the truth. She doesn't travel light.
Yeah.
So everything goes in. Pots and pans, bags of food, the clothing. So even in our SUV, the back seats have to go down. The back is full. The back seats are full. Forget about taking passengers with us.
Yeah.
It's full, full, full. And when I got looking at the Model 3, I'm thinking, man, I mean, the opening is fine. We can put our stuff in there, but when we go somewhere, we're going to be in the same predicament. And what if we have to take somebody?
Yeah.
So now I thought, well, we really got to look at something a little bigger. Well, of course, your other choice, of course, is a Model S. And now with the cost delta between that, now we're considering... Well, the other thing, too, of course, is our bikes. We do like to ride our bikes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to put a bike rack on top of a Model S because it'll sap the range.
Yeah.
And I want a trailer hitch, but you can't get a factory trailer hitch from Tesla on the Model S. You have to go third party. You might have to cut the bumper. I don't want anything to do with that.
No.
So now that the trailer hitch is standard on the Model X, it kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's a lot of money, but maybe I'll find a used one. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a few of them up on the CPO site, but they're not much far off the full retail.
Well, that's the thing you got to watch out for. I mean, it'd be in a bad position with Tesla right now because of now with the price just being adjusted, and you get a better. I mean, the newer models that you choose from have more features and stuff. So now they're sitting on a lot of inventory now that now they have to sell. So I don't know what's going on. I did see a really nice titanium silver Model S at the Oakville location a couple 3 weeks ago. Man, that was nice. But I was looking at it. Why would I buy that?
Is that the darker gray? They call the type.
No, it's a slight brown color.
Yeah.
Not the old brown.
What's the gray called again? The darker gray.
Oh, midnight silver.
Yeah,
that's a popular color too. That's a really nice color too.
Yeah, I was struggling between white and that. It's sharp.
Yeah. So I was looking at it, and it had the nice next-gen tan leather seats inside. It had everything that I would have wanted on it, but I looked at the price, and I went, man, I got to add 13% tax on that, and you don't get a rebate. And a brand new Model S configured, you get more stuff in it, and I get the rebate, and it was cheaper than buying a used one.
They had 2 demos of these sitting at the BMW dealership.
Really?
But it didn't make sense because they were almost $50,000 and no rebate. So he's like, they're going to sit here. They knew that too. He's like,
and the kilometers were over? Or they were used?
They were demos, but they can only have up to
2,000 kilometers. That's right.
So they were beyond that.
Yeah. So now they're going to sit there.
It's like, I'm going to go brand new.
Let's go get a coffee. What do you like? My treat.
Good old double-double.
Yeah. And get the good coffee. Are you a Timmy's guy or are you a McDonald's guy?
No, I like McDonald's as well.
Oh, McDonald's is so much better.
I'm a Starbucks guy, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, a fancy drink. Big spender. Oh, there is a Starbucks around here somewhere, but I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I went to Starbucks while I was charging last night. Well, I just spent probably a lot more than I could have got gas, but you know.
Isn't that weird? That's funny, you know, it always gets me. You know, we complain about the price of gas and stuff, but you go to the store and people buy bottles of water for $2.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is nice. Did they tell you whether some of the surfaces are leather or is it art?
This here is they call a leatherette, but it's nowhere near leather. But
so it's synthetic.
Yeah, leatherette.
Similar to what the Teslas are now.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of their leather interior. The grain in it.
Yeah,
weird. It almost looked like the stuff on the dash there.
Yeah, they tan it with a eucalyptus oil or eucalyptus extract or something like that, and I didn't like the look of it.
And they were almost they had a brownish tinge to them almost.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that, but this is nice with the nice piece of wood and stuff.
Yeah.
They got the recycled plastic in here, which is kind of interesting too.
Yeah.
I know that's not for everybody. They look at that.
No, I'm not. It reflects off the windshield quite a bit too. But
I just noticed that now.
So does everything.
Well, what do you do?
Yeah.
Did you watch the series of YouTube videos how they build this car?
Yes.
Isn't that cool?
I burned an hour and a half.
Yeah, I've watched them multiple times. I mean, that's a fascination of mine is car building and how they do it.
And compared to the factory that I'm in, we are... Our place, if you walk through
Steve works for Honda.
Yeah. If you walk through our plant, you would probably say, wow, this place is clean. But then you look at that video, no comparison. Yeah, it's crazy clean. And it looks like they spare no expense, so that translates to the price of the car, I guess. But,
well, the thing about the i3 is the price is fairly high compared to for what you get. But the thing is that there's a lot of technology in this car, like the CFRP that they're using for the body and stuff. That's not conducive to high volume manufacturing. Yeah. I mean, I think they make 50,000 a year. Yeah. I mean, that's half of what Tesla makes right now on the S and the X. So,
and they built a factory just to build this
just
car.
To build it, exactly. And they built that, and they bought that other company or the factory that makes the carbon fiber.
Yeah,
they put a lot of money into this. Yeah. But they've parlayed it into the other products. If you look at the 7 Series now, they're using a lot of carbon fiber and that stuff. So they're going to spread that technology everywhere.
This was their learning opportunity, and I read the other day that the carbon fiber reinforced plastic is 16 times the price of steel. So that's one. That
would explain the price,
right? Among everything else, but that's a pretty good contributing factor.
So this one you got with the eye. Hold on here. I'll get this up. So this one comes with the iDrive. Let's leave the microphone there. So you turn the knob. You can zoom in and zoom out.
Yeah, I got the split screen on.
Media. And then you got options, and you can kind of zoom around and find what you want.
Yeah, it's a little hard to get used to compared to.
Yeah, and this one you can draw, right? You can write the letters on it.
Yeah,
stuff.
You can write the letters when you want.
Yeah, you can just kind of do this and
put in an
address. S P, whatever you want.
And it's spot on.
Yeah, I have tried it before. It is kind of neat. Yeah. So radio. So you go to nav. You want to enter an address. So you can go house number.
House number to start.
Yeah. So you can go 2, 3. Whoop.
Yeah, maybe a little fast.
Did I do too fast? 3. 4. Haha, neat.
Yeah, he gets it.
Cool.
Believe it or not, this is the first electric car that I ever drove. I rode in one Model S, the very first.
You rode it. You never driven it.
Never. I didn't want to
spoil the fun.
Right? Yeah, I wanted to wait till I got my Model 3, and that would have been the first electric car that I ever
I've told a lot of people, if you drive a Model S, man, it spoils you something fierce, and it's just like you'll want to sell a kidney in order to buy one. So it's a very expensive test ride.
Yeah.
And I held off for the longest time driving one because I just knew.
Yeah.
But I'm a patient kind of guy, so.
I'm not. I think I've told people at work, if I give you this car for 3 days,
you're sold.
I think you're sold.
Yeah.
I think I was sold. I mean, as soon as I hit that pedal.
Yeah. Well, I've always said that. I mean, I've talked EVs for a number of years now with people, and the thing is, you can talk about EVs or Tesla or whatever to blue in the face, but what you have to do is drive one.
Yep.
When you drive it, boom, your brain just goes, it just turns on.
For me, it was like the first time I drove this, it was like this feels like the way a car should have. Like we've been doing it wrong for a very long time.
Yeah.
This is the way it should be.
And the thing is, now we have modern technology like lithium-ion batteries that actually can do it. I mean, 20 years ago when the EV1 was out and you had nickel metal hydride batteries or lead acid, because they first started with lead acid and went on. I mean, they had memory effects and they had all kinds of problems. It didn't have the range and stuff, but now
people
that's
still
largely
still
solved.
love that car.
And then the thing about batteries is that it's an evolving technology.
Yeah.
So it's only going to get better.
Oh yeah, we're going to say in 10 years that, no, look at, back 10 years ago when I bought the i3, it was a horrible, compared to what we have today.
Yeah. Well, the inventor of the lithium-ion battery has some new technologies working on. It's a sodium battery. So apparently it's going to be even better. But what works in the lab, folks, doesn't always work in production. So that's why Tesla is still focused on lithium-ion. Good morning. Good afternoon. Oh, it's afternoon. 2 medium coffees, double, please. That is all.
Yeah, I've always been an early adopter of tech, so
I am too.
You pay the price.
Yeah. I am the same way. I'm in the tech business. That's what I do.
I paid too much, so the next person doesn't have to. So yeah, working for Honda, you would think that, I mean, I've been waiting for years for them to do something, and
they used to have the Insight. What happened? I mean, they kind of let it go.
Yeah, they got off to a good start, and then they
started dabbling with that stupid.
I think they thought
fuel cell thing.
They thought hydrogen was going to be the way to go.
Oh, no, that'll prove to be a very expensive mistake for both them and Toyota. You watch.
Obviously, I don't want to badmouth the company I work for. I want them to do well.
As we all do.
I would love to be driving an electric Honda right now, but
they don't have anything.
What is it? The Clarity is starting to come out. There's 3 different variations of that.
I saw that. We did a thing on it with Ken and I on the show, and we looked at it and went, really? I mean, that's all you can do?
Yeah.
You should have done, but...
And then in Frankfurt a couple weeks ago, I think it was, they introduced the thing that looks like a Volkswagen Golf that they're going to start producing in 2019.
Yeah.
And then yesterday I saw they're doing a coupe that they're going to introduce soon, but I'm like, you need a mass market vehicle before you start playing around with that stuff.
Yeah.
I hope they get their head out of the sand, and I mean, even the Fit EV that I think they only brought it out in California and Oregon, but they leased that thing for $329 a month.
Yeah.
I would have been all over that. It only had, I think, 80 kilometers range or something, but...
Well, the tipping point has arrived at the manufacturing side for the most part. It just hasn't arrived in people's minds yet, but that'll change in a few years once the actual products actually show up in the showrooms and when they get more exposed to it, because right now there's no exposure. Unless you know exactly what you're looking for, people don't know they exist. But once they're actually in the showroom and they go in to buy it and they see 5 or 6 different variants of the car, and then they go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it'll come. But it takes, I see comments all the time, how come XYZ, isn't out yet, and how come they're not? I mean, takes 3 to 4 or 5 years to develop a car from the ground up. You can't just put something out in 3 months. It doesn't happen.
Yeah,
and even BMW for that matter. I mean, they started with this, and then they had fits and starts. They kind of decided to do it, and then they didn't, and then they did, and now they seem to be back on board again, largely because of pressure from the government.
Yeah.
So.
A lot different story in Europe.
Yeah. Well, you'll see Volkswagen and Mercedes be the first to really push, you know, a bunch of product lines. BMW, you know, are working on things.
Yeah, I see announcements almost every day. VW and Audi.
Wasn't the Frankfurt show on? Did they finally announce a 3 Series electrified yet or not? I would have known that by now.
I think they did, yeah.
I'll have to go back and look on it. You can just imagine in the boardrooms of what they're thinking about the Model 3, thinking, man, this thing's going to cannibalize our sales if we don't do something.
Yeah.
That's got to hurt.
Yep.
Because it's still early days, but look what the S did to the high-end premium cars.
Yeah.
Killed them. Not killed them, but...
So I tried my phone with the charge
point. No Apple Pay for you?
No. I tried it with the charge point charger.
The cameras.
What's that?
The cameras.
We're doing you want to be on video? We're doing a video.
I'm alright.
You're going to be famous.
Thanks for the coffee.
Yeah, I tried the new charge point. It says, oh, you don't even have to open the app or anything on your phone anymore. Just tap your phone to the thing.
Yep.
Tried it last night.
No? No worky?
No worky.
Oh, Apple Pay's the bomb. I could have did it with my watch, too. It's awesome. Might be able to do that on the Model 3 eventually, too. Actually, it's not NFC. It's RFID.
So that's also, it has the automatic parallel parking.
Yeah. Have you tried it?
Nope, not yet.
Oh.
I heard
that's one of my favorite features on the S and the X because I'm terrible when it comes to parking. Oh.
Until it grinds your nice wheel into a curve.
Well, that's the thing. You know, when I was in San Francisco on vacation back in the summer, we were in Sausalito, just sitting outside, just waiting for food or whatever. And this guy pulled up and he had a brand new Model S with the 21-inch turbine wheels, brand new car. And he was trying to park this thing, and he was like, "Watch, watch, watch!" And he was just like, he curbed his wheels. I couldn't believe it. But I saw it coming because he was struggling to park the thing. I mean, it's a big car.
I was watching a Model S try to get around in a little strip plaza parking lot last night, and I'm like, man, that is a big car.
It is a big car.
Yeah. You don't realize until it's amongst a whole bunch of other cars.
Well, driving the car feels fine, but you notice how big it is when you go to park it. Yeah. Or you're maneuvering tight spaces. It's like the wheel. I mean, it has a long wheelbase. It's wide.
Yeah.
And for me, I found that the wheel locks didn't seem to travel far enough. So your turning radius was like a boat, right? This is, turn on a dime.
It'll spin on its axis.
Sure it will.
Yeah.
This is a short little wheelbase on this car.
Yeah, they moved everything out of the way so the wheels could turn as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I put LED high beams in it the other night.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they're down in they look like fog lights.
All right. Just chill.
But yeah, all you did was turn the wheel completely, stick your hand in, and open it up. You just had light change of every time.
I remember Chrysler used to have that on their minivans. In order to change the lights, you had to get inside the wheel well because they didn't design the car for ease of, repairability and stuff. But
yeah, any regular headlight in an ICE car these days, it's you got to take half the engine.
I'm surprised that they would have went with halogen high beams on this.
Oh, LED low beams, halogen high beams.
Okay. You thought they would have just gone complete LED and called it a day.
I've heard people argue that the throw isn't as far. They're brighter, but they don't go as far.
Mm, I see.
Here,
thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah, whenever anybody talks about it on the forums and stuff, there's an argument about, the halogens actually go further, but they just looked horrible.
Oh no, they look horrible.
I had nice bright white bluish light up here, and then the high beams would come on, and I had orange. I hated it. I'm gonna change the interior lights are halogen as well.
Oh, well, that's an easy swap.
Yeah.
And mostly those little they call them saloon.
Yeah.
The saloon bullet things there.
I did my Audi because the lights were terrible in there too.
Yeah, even Tesla for that matter, the interior lights on the S and the X are they're weak.
Yeah.
Right? So most people will go and buy the replacement lights. Yeehaw.
It's got a nice sound when you step on it a little bit. Cruising around town, you usually don't hear anything at all.
That little whine is nice.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I like it. Reminds me of your, every time I do it, reminds me, oh, I'm listening to a...
oh, my intro?
Yeah, Model 3 owners.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely, that's a Model S sound.
Yeah. I just had an ECU relay go in the Audi, and man, did that ever cause a lot of 32 codes. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's so interconnected now.
Yeah. As soon as I saw an engine light on my Audi, I was like, oh, here we go.
Here we go.
But thankfully, it was a $38 part. And
well, you're lucky. You got off scot-free.
Back in business.
Great big Silverado in front of us.
Big old dually.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that I'm in an EV, it's like I look around and I'm like, these people, what are you thinking?
Well, yeah, you'll get a little bit of that.
Yeah. Helps if we even turn the AC on.
Oh yeah, I noticed it was off there. It was starting to get a bit warm. So you have some door pockets, which is nice.
Yeah, there's lots of storage.
Yeah, couple cup holders. At least they're in a good spot, I guess. Well, it's a little bit far, but
this one moves side to side. There's three.
Yeah, I heard that there's little clips there you can move,
yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. You got a spot for your phone there? You got your Pro Clip?
Pro Clip. Man,
nice.
I should have shares in that company because I've had, working with Honda, I had a new vehicle every 2 years. So every one of them I had a Pro Clip for, and they're sitting in a drawer at home.
Yeah. So they're not necessarily interchangeable?
You can get console ones that you can take from car to car, but I like...
And this one's like some kind of clip that grabs the bottom or something?
Yeah, it goes all the way down to the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all custom made for each vehicle.
We'll head back to my place and then we'll get out and take some footage of the car and drink our coffees.
Is it true that current Tim Hortons coffee is Tim Hortons original roast?
That's what I've been told.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah, so...
oh, and the coffee, by the way, McDonald's in the States is not the same as ours.
Oh, it's not?
It's not as good. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion.
There you go.
But I hit the McDonald's as soon as I was in Fremont, and I was dying for coffee. And I go to my usual haunt, McDonald's, and I went, oh, this tastes different.
Years ago, Tim Hortons was not as good down there either. But now I've noticed they're pretty much on par.
Well, when we go to the U.S., my wife and I usually drink Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, really?
It's like that. And we'll buy a bunch of bags, beans, and stuff, bring it home.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if we can, it's mostly McDonald's. Watch out for these little guys. They can't hear us coming.
Yes, I'm glad it does not have to make a pedestrian sound.
Oh, yeah. Have you heard the Nissan Leaf driving around? It's got that little stupid chime thing. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, I hope they never mandate that.
Well, there was a patent that, not a patent, but a design that Tesla had taken out for that, but they've never implemented it on their cars yet. I hope they never do.
Yeah, me neither.
That'll be the first thing I unplug.
Yeah. There'll be a way to hack it, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Doot, doot, doot. Ta-da! And then you press the button to put her in the park.
Yep.
Just like that. And that's it. Off. Wow. Thanks for the ride, buddy.
No problem.
It was awesome. Nice to see you. All right. Well, that's it for this episode, folks. We'll do a little bit of footage and we'll throw that into the video for you. So anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Handles at Model 3 Owners. Check out the website at model3ownersclub.com and catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. See ya. Yeah, it just keeps the video nice and stable. Yeah. So here's the... so can you open this from the outside?
No, because it's pressurized.
Pressurized?
So
oh, right, because of the...
If you don't use the gas, apparently it prevents it from going bad.
So we got the LED lights the whole time.
What's this other big vacuum for?
And down here you've got your carbon fiber reinforced plastic.
That's optional. You can have it with or without. It's a little bit of an insurance policy. So it kicks in when the battery gets to 6%. The range extender kicks in. It's a level 2 center generator. And I wouldn't be able to get back to very last one. But the last one kicked on.
That's probably the oil port door there.
How much gas does this hold?
2.4 gallons.
Not much.
Which would be, what's that in liters?
Probably about 5 liters.
Yeah. Probably about 100 kilometers on the gas before you have to fill up. So technically, as long as you can keep putting gas in, it'll keep on going, but it'll, if you drive too fast, it'll slowly start to cripple the car until the point where you're
Now, if you don't use the gas, is it going to go bad?
No, the tank's pressurized, and apparently that prevents that.